Welcome to Hallie's Creations. We are going to do 6 different bottle shares, and we're just going to kind of run through it. I'm going to do a little voice overlay on it, kind of walk you through a few of these steps. But all these videos are on my playlist. I just thought I'd make it a little bit easier for the holidays and put 6 of them together. So what I usually do is I will find the napkins that I think have a pretty cool pattern for what I'm trying to go for, get my Mod Podge out, and go at it. So what you want to do is always thin your napkins out, which you saw in the beginning there, down to the thinnest layer. Usually napkins are 2 to 3 ply, so you're good there. I take the smooth end of the napkin and do the bottom of the bottle. And you'll notice on this Bottleart share how it says thankful. I did this as a thank you gift. And also I did another one for Thanksgiving. And they're just a great way when you go to a friend's house or for the holidays. Oh gosh, can I talk here? But anyway, when you go for the holidays, it's a neat little way of saying thank you to your host or hostess. And it just kind of surprises them and makes them feel a little bit special. And it doesn't take that much to make these bottles. They're super easy peasy. So now we're just going to dab, dab, dab. And that's the real key there. When you put on your Mod Podge, don't pull and tear at it. Just dab it on. It dries clear. So it's amazing stuff. That's why I use Mod Podge. I don't make my homemade Mod Podge. I buy the Mod Podge. I spend a little bit more for it, but it's worth it because it doesn't yellow, it doesn't crack. I have the right consistency right out the gate, and I can just go at it. So, and it gives it that frosty effect when you use that sponge and you go dab, dab, dab. And I do the whole bottle, as you'll notice here. I'm dabbing the entire bottle. So now we're just going to wrap some twine on this, and I did twine instead of ribbon because this was for a guy. Actually, this one was for my surgeon who did my ear surgery for me. I went in there to get my ear fixed and came out with a new eardrum. Who knew you could do that? But I wanted to say thank you because that was just a huge blessing for me. And it was during the holiday season too, so I figured he could actually use this and re-gift it if he wanted to. So I just kind of did a little messy twine on there, just rough and rustic. Guys don't care. And then I glued a few accents on there as well, just to bling it out and to give it that holiday feel. Hot glue sticks, I usually use the Gorilla Glue sticks. Those are pretty durable, but any glue sticks will work. Just a little reminder, don't forget to subscribe and set your notify if you'd like to continue to see different shares that I do. I try to share at least once or twice a month. I was doing it weekly, and I probably will get back to doing that in time. Right now I'm tearing down my studio and relocating, so I am just trying to stay on top of it and keep neat stuff coming out for you to watch and share. So set that notify for you do get those notifications when I do post new materials on this page and on my channel. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and like. So there we go. It's done, and it's time to enjoy. You take that to your host or hostess, your friend. It says thankful on there. They can see exactly what they're getting as well. And that's it. Yeah. So now we're going to move on to the next project that we have on this video share. This is so cute, and this was one of my favorite ones to do. See that little bottle up on top? That's it finished. These are cute on your table, and if you have grandkids or children sitting at your table, oh my goodness, they just absolutely love these things. So this is from a 3-part share that I've done, and I just, like I said, I'm reworking these for, we have 6 videos in one. Love my Mod Podge. Always have to have Mod Podge. And here's my thing. Remember, if you're making homemade Mod Podge, that's okay. But in time, it probably will yellow and crack. As to where if you just spend a little bit more, get the good stuff, it's going to last. Or at least so far it has for me. So we're just going to cut this fabric and we're going to Mod Podge it onto this bottle. And there's a little, I know, there's a little trick to it when you put this fabric on because it is lace, so it's not as pliable as the paper. So what you want to do is get it wet just a little bit, not drenched, just a little wet, and it'll hug your bottle better. So in that bottle is Mod Podge, and you can use the gloss, you can use the flat, whatever you want. The flat kind of just goes on smoother. The gloss gives it more of a frosty effect when you use the sponge, but it all dries clear. I left the labels on, that way the people at the table have an idea of what they're drinking. You can take them off if you want. They make great night lights, so if you get those little cork lights from Amazon, and they are on my Amazon page under my Bottleart list, you can see which ones I buy. And I don't have affiliated links, so I'm not making any extra money on that or anything, but I just wanted it to be easier for you to find what I use for when I do these shares. It's on my personal profile page. Now in time, hopefully I will have affiliated links, but right now my focus is making great content for you. So you'll notice here I'm pointing to the fabric. I put the seam in front because we're going to run pearls down that seam, so you're not even going to see that seam. So now we're just going to dab that on to make it adhere, and you have to play with it a little bit to get it really to stick to the bottle. Going to put a little bit more Mod Podge on here and just dab, dab, dab away. Remember what I said earlier, removing the label makes it clear if you do the little fairy lights in it. You could do it either way. Whatever makes you happy. That picture on the wall that you're noticing, that's a 3-dimensional glass painting picture I did with the pumpkins back there. That's on another share that I have on my YouTube playlist under glass painting. And then those other pieces behind you as well, that's under my painting playlist as well. So I don't just do bottle art, I do palette knife painting, acrylics, oils, as well as glass painting. I make jewelry, I do wreaths, I do bows, all kinds of fun stuff. So if you want to see all the different things that I have on my playlist, just jump over to my YouTube channel. I have my playlist all set up on that. But meanwhile here, what we're going to do is just continue to dab, dab, dab until that lace stick's nice and clean. Work it until it hugs the bottle. It might take 3 or 4 minutes. Also, all these shares on this, I know I'm so weird, huh? All these shares on this video are on my YouTube playlist as well under Bottleart Share individually. So some of them will have verbiage on it where I'm talking as I'm doing it, like this one. This was actually, I think, a Facebook Live that I dubbed out. And then some will just have music to it. Now, you want to remember when you're doing anything with accents, use flat backs. Rookie mistake if you if you think you're going to be able to put a round pearl on there. It's going to be a little hard. It's going to pop off in time. So just remember to get flat backs. These I picked up at Michael's with a 50% off coupon. Michael's is expensive, but if you get the coupons and stuff, then you're good to go. Hobby Lobby has them as well. I think Wally's World, Walmart has them too. And you can find them at the Dollar Tree sometimes. You just never know what you're going to find at the Dollar Tree. So we're just going to dab and place these onto the bottle. You should see the eyes of your the kiddos when they come to the dinner table, and all these fun little things are made for them, and they're sitting in their place settings. My kiddos live a few states away, so we don't get together as often as I would like to, but when we do, I try to make it special. So you'll notice here, see how you don't even see that seam now? And it's going to look even better once we put the embellishments and the ribbon and everything on it. Super easy peasy. You just take a piece of lace, wrap your bottle, Mod Podge it on, place a few pearls here and there. Remember, Mod Podge dries frosty clear. This particular, because I did the gloss, it's going to be frosty clear. I know, I'm so weird. I'm getting squishy hands. What I'm doing is I'm Mod Podging actually over the pearls here. I like to make sure they're not going to fall off or get knocked off. So I give it a little extra TLC. So let's bling it out now. We're going to put some winter embellishments. This is for Christmas. And remember what I've always shared. If you have watched me before, you know this. If not, you're new. Don't use your scissors to trim your fake florals because you're going to tear them up. Get yourself a good pair of wire cutters, snippets, and they'll last forever. You can pick them up at Home Depot, Lowe's, any hardware store. When you're working with glue, here's my disclaimer. Hot glue will burn you, so be careful. I hear some of you going, what is that thing she's using? That is a hot glue dipper, little over on the side there. The jury's still out. I don't know if I like it or not. I'm really big on using a good glue gun, but I bought that to try, and I'm still figuring out if I like it or not. You can see how it's gobbly-goopy there? And a reminder, don't forget to follow and like if you're watching this on Facebook. And if you're watching it on YouTube, subscribe and set your notify. And now we're going to jump up a little bit here and get to the next little piece that we're going to talk about. We're just going to tie a simple little bow on here, and I'm actually going to use some white tooling on here to give it some pop, a little fluff. I think I did 2 to 3 layers with that white tooling, and that's more than enough. I try to share less is best. You don't want to overcrowd your project. I've seen that happen so many times. And also remember when you're trimming your ribbon and your tooling to cut it long, because you can't add to it once you cut it off, but you can trim it down if you leave it long. And you're not wasting that much. And you can use those little waste pieces on another project later. My trusty glue gun. So I just put a dab on there I'm letting it dry a little bit before I work it. And now we're just going to do that little tool bowl that I told you about, and it's only going to be a few little layers. Doesn't take that much. Up in the corner there are a few samples of different bottle arts that you can use to decorate a festive table. There's more on my playlist if you want to check that out as well. Now we're just going to tie this little fluffy tulle on with the ribbon that we tied to the bottle, and pretty much we're done. Isn't that cute? Super easy peasy, doesn't take that long. Set it aside and let it dry. And I keep on reminding you, if you put it in the refrigerator to cool it down, Mod Podge will reactivate. So only leave it in there for a short little window of time, not even an hour maybe. What I would suggest is set a pretty little glass by it with some ice in it, and there you go. I made that mistake with the wine bottle piece that I did. I put it back in the refrigerator to gift it, and it reactivated the Mod Podge. It did dry clear once it dried again, but boy vey, that was a scary moment. So do your final trim downs, and you're done. Cute little holiday idea for your little ones in your family, or even special guests and stuff. You can also use that if you put like a little note card on there for place settings as well. And you can do these on the bigger sparkling cider bottles or even champagne bottles. You can do this on any bottle. I decided I wanted to put a few more berries on there and just have it ready to go. A little bit more Christmassy. There's a little pine cone on there. Just a few more little accents. Do your final trimming to your liking and enjoy. And see what I said? It's better to trim it down, leave it long, then you can make it how you want it. So cute. You could tell I wasn't planning on working in my studio that day because I had my t-shirt on. Sorry about that. I just jumped in there and started to go for it. Isn't that a cute little bottle? You'll notice to the next side of it, that there's a champagne bottle, and here we go into the Starbucks bottle. You're like, what? This is so cute. You can pick up those little tea lights, the fake tea lights, see on the top of that Starbucks bottle? And after they're done drinking their Starbucks, they have a little tea light there. You can also use that as a place card holder as well, and you can also put fairy lights into the bottle itself, and it's a cute little night light for the kiddos. And this one here is a champagne bottle for the new year. So there's all kinds of fun stuff you can do. So we're just going to jump into this, and I'm going to do another share. First, you're going to thin out your paper. How you thin out your paper is you get it wet. I use a spray bottle to do that. On the napkins, I just peel them and thin them. So I think we're going to do, yep, it looks like we're going to do the Starbucks bottle first. Didn't know where I was going with that for a moment. So you're just going to wrap your napkin around the bottle, and it could be any holiday or any type of napkin you want, and you can use this for any occasion. It's not just for the holidays. It's just a fun way to give, you know, a little something different at the table for your guests. So of course it's Mod Podge time. We're going to dab that onto the bottle. And it's pretty much the same technique that we've done on the other shares. So I'm just going to let you watch this, and I'm just going to come in and out and just kind of walk you through it a little bit. So first thing we're going to do is dab, because remember what I said about dabbing? It frosts versus streaking. It's going to glaze it. So you want to dab with the sponge to give it that frosty effect. Now we're going to wrap it with the napkin, which we've thinned down to 1 ply, for you can see through it, because when you put the lights in there, you want to see through it. Trim that down. It doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to wrap the neck of the bottle here. So I'm just going to Mod Podge it a little bit more and smooth it out. So I'm showing you on this lid here, there's different things you can do. You can keep that lid and put like a little wine cork on top of it, cut a slot into it, and you can use that for a place card holder. It's kind of cool. Or like I said earlier, a tea light you can drop right down into it once they're done drinking it, and you rinse it out and it's good to go. Or you can even drop a string of lights down in there and put the tea light on top of it. There's just so many different things you can do. Just be creative and have fun with it. On this particular share, when I wrapped the neck, I wasn't super excited about it, so I'm going to let you know that up front. But I still wanted to show you the technique and everything and how you could do it. And you can wrap the neck however you want. I think, like if you're doing this for a guy, I would use the jute, the twine. If you're doing it for a girl, more of a lacy, pretty ribbony type stuff. I'm so weird. To know me is to know that. So now we're just going to wrap. I use the ribbon to match the bottle. And we're just going to wrap that neck. You'll notice I use the glue gun just to dab those knots just to hold it in place. Now we're going to dab over it with Mod Podge one more time, just to, because I can. No, just kidding. I know, it's so weird. I dabbed over it because I wanted to seal it all in. One of the things I share with my bottle art is that it protects it when you do cover it all with the Mod Podge, because if you're like me, you're going to hang on to it for a while, and if you gift it to someone, they're going to hang on to it for a while probably, and that's just going to protect the integrity of it. It seals it up. Plus, it's going to keep it from falling apart as everybody's manhandling it and using it and drinking out of it and everything. So just let it dry. When you're doing these projects, you're seeing me do it all at one time. And actually, I set things aside, I let it dry, I come back, and I continue with the share. So don't feel like you have to do this all in one sitting. You can do your layers. Here's that cork ideal I told you about, that if you wanted to do like a little name tag, little name place card, for at the place settings, that's just a cute little ideal. Ta-da! Just glue that onto the top. And I would paint that top if I was going to do that. I wouldn't leave it just with the star. I would throw some red paint on it or something. But you don't have to. It's your project. Do what you want. Be creative. Now I'm making this more for a guy. We did the girly foo-foo thing, so now we're doing the guy thing. So these are for people that are more into the woodsy, not necessarily even a guy, just people that like more of the natural woodsy type stuff. But I wanted it more masculine, less feminine, as the bottle is more feminine. And we're just going to hot glue the accents, and we're going to tie a bow on it. Pretty easy peasy. Remember, use your stylus so you don't burn your fingers. Get that hot glue in there really good. Is that not too cute? Got the little lights in there. It'll give you a little ambiance at the table if you want to do it without, but cute little nightlight for the kiddos. Take it home after the holiday festivities and they can still remember you because you put in the extra time. This is another cute little one. Another Starbucks bottle. It's a smaller bottle. And it's the same ideal. What I did is I combined the two together. This is lace with the empty Starbucks bottle. Just kind of show you that as well, how it's going to look. So you just cut the lace down to match your bottle, wrap it. Isn't it so cute? It's so tiny. So now we're going into this particular share. It's the empty Starbucks bottle with the Christmas red with the red tulle. And we're going to do the same thing with this. We're going to Mod Podge this to the bottle and make a cute little vase with flowers in it. But you can also use it as a nightlight as well. Just showing you the versatility of what you can do with them. So don't really need to talk you through this one because I've already talked you through a few of them. So I'm going to let you just kick back and watch the process. And then I'll bounce back in a few minutes. So now you'll see where we've dabbed that Mod Podge onto it to make it hug to the bottle. Remember how we get the lace just a little wet before it's more pliable. And what I did with this piece is I actually let it be sloppy on the bottom because I'm going to trim that off with my scissors once it dries. So do this piece, set it to the side, let it dry, and then come back, and then you'll be able to embellish it and put your flowers and everything on it and your ribbons and your lace. I'm just going to dab it a little bit more to make sure it's on there nice and secure. Now that I've trimmed off the bottom, I'm going to just Mod Podge it nice and neatly to the bottom because that's kind of how I am. I don't like things left rough and edgy. I wanted to smooth that out. I like things to be clean. And then is how it says there, links below is, in the links below you'll see where you can go onto my Amazon profile page, and it will show you under the Bottleart the different lights that I use in the Bottlearts, as well as all the different playlists I have on my Amazon profile page. And I do have a link in my descriptions on my YouTube channel, and I will try to remember to do that on my Facebook as well. But if you just go on to Amazon and type in my name, you're going to find me, and it's super easy to find me. So I just filled that up with the lights, tie a little ribbon around it, and then we're going to embellish it. You'll notice too that I put two different kind of lights in there because you're not using the cork top on the bottle. It's a wider mouth. You don't have to go with the cork. You can go with the just the regular little bottle fairy lights as well. Here's that little trick where as you watch these different bottle arts, you'll see different ways of making ribbons. This ribbon, I just looped it. Looks like I looped it 3 times. I made myself bunny ears to make sure I have the center there. See, I always fold it in half to make sure I have the center. And I used the pipe cleaner to hold it together. You can use pipe cleaner, ribbon, you can use zip ties. Myself personally, I like the little tiny zip ties or the pipe cleaners. They hold quite nicely the ribbons. You can use a ribbon if need be, but you got to make sure it's tight and that you double knot it before it doesn't come undone. Here we're just going to tie this ribbon on, and this one's just a real easy peasy one. Just tie it and then you're going to fluff out that bow. And remember what I shared when you're doing your ribbons, to loop it. Don't go back and forth unless you have the same pattern on both sides of the ribbon. But most ribbons you have the pattern side and then a smooth side, so you want to loop it for when you fluff it, that pattern comes out pretty on both sides. I left the pipe cleaner long on that because I'm going to embellish it, and then I'll trim that down in a smidge. You'll notice I used my cutters to cut my pipe cleaner, not my scissors. Scissors are not wire cutters. You'll ruin your scissors if you do that too many times. And if you're really into crafting, you want your tools to last you a little bit. So get yourself a good pair of cutters. They'll be with you forever. They don't cost that much either. I think they're about $10 or $11 when I bought them, so they weren't that much. I'm using the white accents on here just to give it that frosty Christmassy feel. And these are little pieces that I had left over from other arrangements that I've done. So when you're making your floral arrangements and you're doing your arts and crafts, hang on to the little pieces that fall off because you can use them in bottle arts and different, craft ideas. I just have a little drawer off to the side that I throw these in. And I literally throw them in. It's like this drawer. And then when I want to go back and see what I have, I just pull them out. Use your stylus so you don't burn your fingers. Glue those on nice and tight and you are good to go. I picked that up, like I shared earlier, at the Dollar Tree. Now here I'm just throwing some flowers in here just to show you what you can do with it. I just tossed what I had in there just to show you. You can make your own little flower arrangement however you want. And these are really cute on your tabletops as well. Little girls just absolutely love these things. And there you go. That is a Starbucks bottle, upcycled and reused. Now we're just going to trim down the ribbon and we'll be done. Remember what I say. Leave your ribbon long for when you're totally done. Then you can go back and you can frame up your piece by trimming the ribbon the way you like it. Oh, but wait, there's more. I forgot I did this piece. There's a seam on here, so what I did is I covered the seam up like I did in the other bottle art with the pearls. So just throw some Mod Podge on there, cover up your pearls with some Mod Podge, and they will be good to go. Mod Podge dries clear. I can't share that enough. So many people is like, oh my God, it looks so messy. It's like, when it dries clear. So don't stress over the mess if it's Mod Podge. It will dry. I'm just dabbing right over. That way they're nice and secure. I decided I wanted to finish off the neck of this bottle just a little bit more, so I'm adding ribbon to the very top of it. I'm so weird. I'm such a perfectionist. I want everything perfect. But I did. I added some ribbon to the top of it here, and I just used the Mod Podge to do that. And there you go. Now we're jumping on to another Bottleart share. This one was for my granddaughter's wedding, so it was very near and dear to my heart. This is her wedding invitation, and I put it on a huge bottle of wine that I sat on her wedding table. And what you're going to do first, and you can do this with cards, birthday cards, pictures, anything really, just thin it out. That's the key. And the way you thin it out is by just simply wetting the back of it and rubbing that off ever so gently until you get down to the artwork of it. And then I just brushed it off to make sure I didn't have those little pieces of fiber in there, for when I did lay it on the bottle, it would lay nice and clear and flat. It wouldn't have those little embellishment and imperfections in it. So just rub, 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 and don't go crazy. Otherwise you'll rub right through it. Take your time with it and just thin it out. Now, always when you're doing bottle art, you want to make sure the bottle's clear. And what I did with the invitation while it was still wet is I laid it on the bottle to dry. Now that the invitation has dried, you'll notice it's curved a little bit. I'm going to clean that bottle off one more time. I noticed that on this Stella Rossi bottle, it has gold stars on it, so I'm using gold embellishment and twine. And of course, our faithful Mod Podge. Again, just a reminder, all these shares on this particular video are on my playlist on my YouTube channel, individually. Some have voiceovers, some have music to it. So you never know what you're going to get with me. It just depends on how the recording went, what I was feeling at the time. Sometimes I just do music and I'll go through it and talk you through it. And sometimes I will sit down and just do a total share with you. So it just depends. But this one here, what you're going to do, and you notice too here on the neck, how I put the Mod Podge on and now I'm wrapping the twine. A lot of people, they'll wrap the twine without doing that, and this is just an extra security to make it more solid. So I always do my Mod Podge and then I wrap my twine. I do the little extra steps. Is too that I pinned the twine as well as glued it. Now once that twine is dry, after I do the seal on the outside and it dries, I'll pull those pins out and that twine's going to stay put. So saturate your twine with your Mod Podge. It's okay to be messy because you're going to go over it and you're going to dab, dab, dab and give it that frosty effect. The pins I use are corsage pins, and they're on my supply list on Amazon because that's where I get them. I buy them for my florals and corsages, but I also use them in my art pieces because it's easy to grab those pins. They're bigger. Also, they have the pearl tips, so when I'm doing different crafts and stuff, they look pretty with the pearl tips. If I do corks and stuff like that, I leave them in. So those are the pearl tip straight pins, corsage pins, and they work great for your crafting as well. Now I'm going right over the label on this bottle because the invitation is going to cover it up anyway. But I want my kiddos to know what they're getting. So I'm just going to put that on there. Remember, it's already dry to the shape of the bottle. So now it's just a matter of Mod Podging it on. You have to be very patient with this and just take your time. It's going to take a little bit of working. That what you're doing is you're reactivating the paper and making it soft and pliable. You're getting it a little bit wet with some of the Mod Podge, and then you're just going to blend it into the shape of the bottle. So we're going to do that, and then we are going to decorate it. Don't be afraid to get your fingers sticky when you're doing Mod Podge. Sometimes you need to do that. What I wanted to do is make sure the Mod Podge was getting underneath the label as well as on top, and I had to work and caress that and just really make it stick. It got a little gummy in some areas and cloudy, but that's okay because Mod Podge dries clear. So it's okay. Don't freak out if it happens. See how it's all cloudy? That's because I'm reactivating the Mod Podge that I had on there before. Now I'm taking a tiny little sponge and I'm dabbing it all around just to give it that really subtle frosty effect. And to make sure that all the corners and everything's sticking down nice. See how it's drying? It's still cloudy in some areas, but that's okay. It's going to dry clear. That cloudiness will happen if you put it in the refrigerator and forget about it. It will reactivate. And if that happens to you and you go, oh my God, see how it's clear now? Then you just take it out and let it dry and it'll dry clear again. So these are the little cork lights that I'm telling you that you can get through Amazon, and they work great for these particular bottles. And you can actually get different effects and colors as well. Now we're just going to tie this on with a little card and put it on there to make it more personal. That cute little bag I picked up at the Dollar Tree that the cork is in for $1.25 in the bridal area, the wedding area. So that's where you find those, and you can get them on Amazon and Walmart and stuff too. But the best price I've seen was at the Dollar Tree, and they work great for those cork lights. Just tie a simple bow. Now we're going to add some embellishments on here, and what I'm doing is I'm using the colors and the flowers that she had in her bridal bouquet. My granddaughter and her sister actually did her bridal bouquet, and then I put it together for them. So I had these pieces here at my home. So we are just doing accents with some of her wedding flowers. Tying it all together. Be careful when you're hot gluing. Don't glue your fingers. I can't say that enough. Don't want you to get hurt. Trim up your ribbon to your liking. And enjoy. This piece is done, and there you go. Remember, you can do this with any invitation card. Just remember to thin out the cardstock. So this is the last share on this video. This has several different bottle arts in it. This is raw footage. It's from 2020 when I very first started doing these shares. So I put it at the tail end. If you hung in this long, then you're definitely interested in the different things I got going on. Sorry though for the crudeness of this, but this kind of shows you some of the different bottle arts that I've done in the beginning. This one here was one of my favorites. It's a green wine bottle with the white lace over it, and then the wintry theme. You'll also see this one here. What I did, this was for a friend of mine. I frosted it, then I wrote words on there, and she likes the red and white, so I did it with the red and white for Valentine's Day. And I put love, hope, faith, cherish on there. And then you also have the cork on there with the lights in there as well. This one here is just a simple bottle with the jute twined all the way up. This was a sample for a wedding that was going to be doing the sunflowers, and then COVID hit and that was all off. But I'm going to show you some Mod Podge, but see how what my poor Mod Podge picture is flipped backwards because I was such a rookie at the time. I didn't know to flip my screen. Sorry, but learning curve. You'll see in the back behind me 2 glasses that I've done as well. The painted glass with the Mod Podge and stuff. You can use the different color bottles. You don't have to stick with just one particular color. Work the colors that work with the fabric and the materials that you're using for the project that you're doing. And you can be creative. These bottles are given to me by my friends and neighbors. They know I do this stuff. So, hey, Hallie, here's some bottles. It's like, oh, okay. This one here, I used the gold flakes with a clear napkin on it. That's turned out pretty cool too. I like the gold flakes. They're fun to work with, and that's on another share. So on Bottleart here, I was using the sponges when I first started, and I discovered that when I'm first applying it, I use the brush and then I use the sponges to give it that frosting effect. Sorry about it being so close up, but remember this was one of my first ones. This one is actually on my Facebook page too, because this was a live that I did. So if you go back on my Facebook page and search it out, you can find this. And if you're interested in it, just give me a shout out in the comments and I could probably find the link for it and give you the link to it on the Facebook page. This one here is just an example of another bottle art with the sunflowers and the sunflower napkin and stuff. So we're just going to go through here and do this little share. And like I said before, this is when I first started. So yeah, it's a little rough. Sorry. This bottle was fun to do. I painted the sunflower on there and then I just embellished it with the flat back rhinestones and such. I was showing how you could use the different ribbons in order to wrap your bottle with this, and this one is a unique type of fabric. So I was showing how you could do that. And this one here, all you have to do, it's really kind of hard to do, so I wouldn't do it for your first one. But what I did is I Mod Podged the bottle, I pinned it with my pins, and then I Mod Podged over it again, and then went from there. So now I'm just showing you how I pin that fabric onto the bottle. And I was going to dub this out, and I thought, you know what, this would probably be good to leave on there, because if anybody's trying to attempt to do this, I wanted you to see that it is kind of hard, but it is doable. You can do it. So let it sit, let it dry, and then come back, revisit it, and work on it some more. But let it dry first before you try to work on it some more. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. We're just going to set it aside, let it dry, smooth it out, and then I will finish it off. Now as we wrap things up, I do want to show you here like these little cork lights, what they are. They have 3 little batteries, some have 2. You can change those batteries out, and what I do is I buy them through the supplier that actually gives you the extra batteries with your order. So that's kind of cool. So look for that on my supply list under Bottleart. You can get them in different colors and different styles, different lengths. So shop around a little bit. And because we're wrapping it up, I'm having these little reminders pop up to show you the different lights and things that we have done on here throughout this particular share, and just all the different possibilities. So use your imagination and have fun creating, and don't question yourself. Just do it and have fun, because that's the worst thing. Didn't turn out, you toss it. But most times it will be just fine. It'll be fine. It'll turn out cool. Things don't always look the way you want them to look when you first start. It's the finished product. There's so many times I'll start an art piece and it will be nothing like what I started out to do. So remember to follow and like. Jump on to Hallie's Creations. I also have a creative page for creative people. If you want to join my group, you're welcome to do so. I would love to have you. And if you like and follow my page, and I can send you an invite to be part of Hallie's Creations creative group. And on my YouTube channel, if you subscribe and like, you will get the new releases as they come out, as well as have full access to my channel. As I grow my channel, there'll be fun new things to explore and do. I do the bottle art as well as jewelry, artistic shares, painting, palette knife painting, acrylic. I love working with the gold foils. There's just, I just love making neat stuff. So I share that with you. I believe at this time I have over 300 videos and growing, as well as shorts. And on my Facebook page, pretty much the same, because what I post on Facebook, I post on my YouTube channel. And I do my testing on TikTok and Instagram. So until next time, I just really hope you've enjoyed all these wonderful, cute little ideas that I have pulled inspiration from other creative people that are out there making neat stuff as well. And have a wonderful holiday. And until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. Thank you for spending your time with me. Have a good day and a better tomorrow. And to my grandkids, peace out.